Welcome to the Surrey Experience.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Surrey Experience, episode 49. Yeah, you heard that right. Episode 40-9. One away from 50. Dude, some guy actually emailed me and he was like, are you planning on doing anything special for your 50th episode? And I never really even thought about it. So maybe I should do something special. Maybe I should get like a guest or something. Problem is, everyone in the community hates my guts. I'm like the redheaded stepchild of Surrey. So yeah, I don't know about the whole guest thing. I'll try coming up with something unique for the 50th episode. But don't be too surprised if it's just me running my mouth as per usual. But yeah, I can't believe we're almost at 50 episodes, man. And still, till this day, no one even knows who the fuck I am. No one knows what I look like. No one knows my name. Actually, I think I've said my first name on here, but not my full name. Like, no one knows my last name. And my last name's like one of the most farmered out last names ever. So, yeah, I don't know. No one even knows how old I am. And listen, dude, it was probably one of the dumbest marketing strategies of all time. I'd be the first to tell you that, but you gotta admit, it's kind of funny. You know? Isn't it? Not even a little. Dude, what if I wasn't even a brown guy from Surrey? What if I was like a white guy from Texas or something? And I was just trolling everyone. But yeah, I'll try coming up with something special for the 50th episode. I've only had 2 guests on this podcast ever, so I don't know if I'm going to do the whole guest thing. I'm not really the interviewer type. I'm like a lone wolf, like DMX. Maybe I should do like a best of type thing, you know, like the best of the Surrey Experience podcast. And it's just clips of me like trashing chicks or like sharing my stupid ass theories with the youth. I don't know. Why don't you guys email me some suggestions or DM me or something? It's been a crazy ride though, man. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows. But I am really glad I started this podcast. A lot of good came from starting this thing. Like, a big reason I got my movie deal was because of this podcast. I got invited to a bunch of events that I would have never ever been invited to. I never went to any of them because I'm like antisocial, but it felt nice to be invited, you know? Oh, a kid told me that my advice from the podcast helped him get laid. That was a pretty special moment for me. What else? Oh, this one kid was like, because of you, I stopped doing hard drugs and I only smoke weed now. And I was like, when the fuck did I ever say don't do hard drugs? I do not recall that episode. So, yeah, that's pretty much the extent of the positives. And we all know the negatives. The feminist community and the turban wearing community aren't my biggest fans. And don't even get me started on the feminists who wear turbans. Jesus Christ. They want my head. But you know what? They wanted Galileo's head too, back in the 1500s. Everyone wanted to kill that guy because he said the earth wasn't flat. Turns out he was just ahead of his time. I've been singing the praises of marijuana for years and years and years, and everyone called me a moron. But now marijuana is legalized all over Canada. Maybe I'm just ahead of my time. Yeah, I just compared myself to Galileo. Deal with it. I was right about the whole weed thing though, man. My teachers, my parents, my guidance counselors, they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. And because weed is legalized now, I feel vindicated. Man, what a time, dude. I knew weed would eventually get legalized, but I didn't think it would happen so soon. It's almost like surreal. The numbers on like opening day were crazy too, like in terms of sales and all that shit. Hold on, let me see if I can pull them up. 1 second. Canada weed legalization statistics. Okay. How much weed was sold on Canada's legalization day? Okay. Cannabis was flying off the shelves in retail outlets and online stores across the country as soon as the clock struck midnight Wednesday, October 17th. The demand was so high that pot stores reported running low or completely out of cannabis on the first day. So how much weed did Canadians purchase on legalization day? Here is a breakdown of the cannabis sales by province. Manitoba, Ontario, and Newfoundland did not get back to global news at the time of this publication. They're probably too high and forgot. Alright, British Columbia, the California of Canada. Let's see how much weed we bought. All right, nearly 10,000 cannabis sales were made in British Columbia on the first day of legalization. According to the BC Liquor Distribution Branch, a total of 9,980 orders were placed, 9,175 of which were online sales. Around 800 sales were made at the only government-run store open on day one in Kamloops. One of my best friends moved to Kamloops and his name's Gummel, so we started calling him Gummaloops. Sorry, where was I? Okay, Alberta. Let's see how much these guys fucking got. Alberta Gaming, Liquor, and Cannabis said it made nearly $730,000 in sales the first day of legalization. Wow. Yeah, there ain't shit else to do in Alberta. Might as well get high. Quebec. Let's see how much weed these racist bastards went through. The Société de Québécois de Cannabis said there were 42,000 cannabis orders processed on the first day of legalization, with 12,500 in-store transactions and 30,000 online sale orders. Holy fuck, dude. The volume of orders far exceeds the SQDC's expectation. I wonder how many people making these orders are like weed virgins. There has to be some, right? Like there's got to be some squares out there that have always wanted to try weed, but they didn't want to break the law. I hate those fucking type of people. I'm all for being like a law-abiding citizen, but some laws are like fucking ridiculous, man. Like, you know those people that won't like put an extra guy in their car just to go down the street? Yeah, anyways, if you're new to weed, let me like be your weed ambassador, alright? Because there's a lot of common misconceptions about weed. Here's a really big misconception. You shouldn't smoke weed in the morning. That's one of the dumbest ones ever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with smoking weed in the morning. Just don't smoke too much. Just think of it like this. If you wake up in the morning and you eat like a large pepperoni pizza, it probably wouldn't be the greatest idea. Like you're going to feel all fucked up for like the rest of the day. But if you had like a bowl of oatmeal, it would probably be pretty beneficial, right? Now just apply those same principles with weed. Just think of it like that. A few hits in the morning would probably be pretty beneficial. Smoking a whole joint, not so much. It's all about portions. Another common misconception, you shouldn't get high before work. Again, that's another portion control issue. A little bit could actually be beneficial. Let's see, what else? Another misconception. Oh, this one is really stupid. Like, marijuana is a gateway drug. Have you ever heard people say that? Marijuana is a gateway drug? That's the biggest bullshit one of all time. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. I've never once been stoned and thought to myself, you know what would be great right now? Some fucking crack. What else? Oh, here's one. Weed gives you munchies. That's not necessarily true. If you eat right before you smoke a joint, you're probably not going to get the munchies. So if you're worried about fucking up your diet, relax. You're going to be fine. Just use common sense. But weed is definitely like a taste enhancer. Like food will definitely taste better when you're high. But that doesn't mean you got to eat like shit. Like smoothies taste really good. Oh, dude, you know what's awesome when you're high? And don't judge me on this. A pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Wow, that sounded even gayer out loud than it did in my head. Yeah, for all you broads listening, I'm sure all that stupid shit you guys like to do is probably way better high. You know, like bubble baths. I haven't taken a bubble bath personally since I was like in kindergarten, but I'm sure that would probably be way better if you're high. That's one of those things these fucking feminists never bring up, you know? It's always like, men make more money per hour. But it's like, yeah, you guys get to take bubble baths past the age of 5 years old, alright? Count your fucking blessings. I can't really speak on this from personal experience, but I've heard through the grapevine that weed really helps with cramps. So ladies, if it's that time of the month, you know, give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? The risk is worth the reward at that point, you know? Oh, dude, you know what's underrated? Getting high before a workout. It might sound counterintuitive, but again, portion control. Take a few hits and go for a run, man. It's fucking phenomenal. Way healthier than taking all that pre-workout bullshit everyone takes. What else is underrated? Oh, you know what's underrated? Getting high on the podcast. Where did my fucking pen go? Hold on, give me a second. There it is. Sorry. I should have done this before, but what are you gonna do? That's good stuff. I don't think people should be able to drive when they're high, though. Like, I should be able to drive because I'm a fucking professional, but not the general public. Driving high is a skill that takes like countless hours to master. Dude, they should have like a separate road test, you know? Like, you go down to the DMV, you smoke a whole joint, right? And then you hop in one of those cars with the 2 steering wheels and you parallel park, right? And then you like 3-point turn and you do all that dumb shit they make you do when you take a road test. And then the examiner grades you. And if you pass, you should be able to drive when you're high without like getting a DUI, right? They should just add like a little green sticker to your driver's license so the cops don't fuck with you. Not being able to drive when you're high is stupid, man. Do you honestly think people are gonna like find a designated driver to go to the movies? No, man, that's fucking dumb. I'm not gonna call a cab because I got high before watching Venom. I'm gonna get high, watch the movie, and then drive home like a gentleman, alright? And if you got a problem with that, then you can go fuck yourself. With all that said, though, I'm thinking about quitting smoking weed. Just for like 2 weeks, right? The first 2 weeks of November, I'm thinking about canning it. Just to detox the body a bit. It's good to do that every once in a while, you know? Oh, dude, one thing I don't fuck with is edibles. Like, I love getting high, but I don't like being that high, man. The high off of edibles, it isn't even enjoyable. For me, I should say. I don't fuck with dabs either. You know that shit that people do with like, they get like that big torch gun and the fucking bong and the butter, like that brown shit. It looks like they're doing crack. I'm not down with that shit either, man. I like to be like functional when I'm high. Another thing I don't recommend is mixing, like getting shit-faced and then smoking weed. I mean, I do it all the time, but for the most part, I like to either be drunk or be high. Oh, dude, another awesome time to smoke weed is when you're hungover. I've gotten over a many hangovers with a little joint action. Music is way better when you're high, movies, all that shit. But that's just common knowledge. The most important thing I can stress for all the new stoners out there, though, is portion control. A little will go a long way. Naps are great when you're high. Video games, of course. It's just a fucking life enhancer, man. It makes day-to-day life better. Now, I'm not saying you should smoke weed every day, but I'm not saying you shouldn't smoke weed every day either, so I don't know. Just experiment, man. Draw your own conclusions. But all that spooky shit that they told us growing up, it's all bullshit propaganda. All that reefer madness, all that shit. Like, dude, when I was growing up, when I was in high school, they used to tell us weed was more damaging to your body than cigarettes. Like, our teachers would tell us that. They would blatantly lie through their teeth and with no repercussions. Jagmeet Singh said that people with like marijuana convictions should get them overturned. And I completely agree. Hold on, let me pull up his quote because it was fucking brilliant. Hold on. Okay, Jagmeet Singh calls on government to expunge. That was the word. Jagmeet Singh calls on the government to expunge criminal records for pot possession, not just pardon them. Saying the Liberals' current proposal doesn't do enough. Yeah, man, they should be compensated for all the bullshit that they had to go through too. Like, dude, I should be compensated for like all the jobs I didn't get because they drug tested. Dude, I've gotten canned from at least like 10 jobs in my life because they drug test before they hire. Didn't some brown dude just get piss tested for blow in England? Right? Like, he was one of the first like Sikh guardsmen to serve the royal family. And instead of wearing those long black wigs that those assholes wear, they let him wear his turban. And like, it was like a really big deal. And then a few months later, they did a piss test and they found high levels of cocaine in his system. And they put him on blast in front of the entire world. It was like world news, man. Like headline news that this dude in a turban had cocaine in his system. I would have loved to seen his mummy daddy's reaction to that. The guy straight fucking jaloused it. Why would any brown guy want to work as a guardsman for the royal family in the first place, though? It's like, dude, do some fucking research, man. These Englandis have been dicking us around for the last 200 years. They raped and pillaged our people. They stole our shit. They gave away our lands. Why in the fuck would you ever want to be a guardsman for them? Have some fucking pride, dude. You bent over to serve them and they put you on blast in front of the whole world. You got on your knees for the royal family and they smacked you with their royal dick, you know? In his defense, cocaine should be legal too, though. Prohibition is just never going to work, man. It's 2018. I think when these greedy corporate assholes realize how much money that legal drugs can bring in, cocaine will be legalized too. Like, I think by like 2028, we'll see cocaine legalization. It's only inevitable. But yeah, I think Canada is way better off now that marijuana is legal. It's going to create so many jobs, so much tax revenue. Hey, speaking of tax revenue, did you guys go out and vote? Dude, that was the first time I voted like in this decade. I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but the last time I voted, and this was like 10 years ago, by the way, my dad's buddy was running and my dad like forced me to go to the thing and vote. And instead of voting for my dad's buddy, I voted for the marijuana party. I was like one of 17 people that voted for them. My dad was like, "You voted for my buddy, right?" And I was like, "Yep." Yeah, so I don't know. I never got into politics because I've seen too many like conspiracy theory documentaries, and I believe like all the major elections are probably rigged, like especially the American ones. But I bet the Illuminati doesn't really give a fuck about Surrey, and coming to that conclusion is what made me go out and vote this time around. But the guy I voted for won and is now the mayor of Surrey, which is great because the other candidates were fucking retarded and they had some stupid ass like plans for the future. So I'm very glad the guy who won. But in the future, man, we need like a young Surrey Jack in there, or even like a Surrey girl in there. Our city would be way better off with someone younger, and someone who actually grew up here, But what the fuck do I know? It's totally doable too, man. Like, who has a bigger reach in Surrey than us? We got to stop cutting ourselves so short. So in 2022, let's get a Surrey Jack to be the mayor of Surrey. Anyways, maybe I should get to the listener questions. I know these have piled up a bit. Okay, let me pull these up 1 second. Vote for the Surrey Experience Party in 2022. They promised to implement the Stone Road Test. All right. First question. Friend's boyfriend too possessive. All right. Here we go. Hey, just started listening to your podcast a while ago. Love them. My question. So my friend's boyfriend is very possessive and insecure. He won't let her talk to any other friends. It's like he's controlling her life. That's so messed up. I am so pissed at this. What can we do about that? Is this a guy or a girl? Oh, it's a guy. Okay. Fuck, I don't know, man. All my friends are dudes, so I've never really had that problem. If I were you, I'd probably try to befriend the boyfriend, maybe take him to a game or some shit. But why would you want to be friends with a chick anyway, Like, they don't even watch sports. They don't even do the same shit we do, I don't know, bro. Maybe there's a reason he's so possessive and insecure. Maybe something happened. Why don't you hang out with the guy, have a few drinks, and find out what's going on. But if you want my professional opinion, I would mind my own business and I would find my own girlfriend. All right? Okay. I got to blow through these real quick. Hold on. Let me just do the next one. Question for the podcast. Hey, I need your advice on something. I met this guy and I really like him. We both want a loyal relationship, but I don't trust him at times for some reason because of what he's done in the past. And he's hiding some stuff from me, which is making me worried. I don't want to hurt his feelings in any way. I just need to know how to get him to be straight up with me. My friends are telling me since he's an older guy, he's just using me to fuck and probably has other side hoes. But I don't know what to do now. Your friends are fucking idiots. Why would an older guy be using you just to fuck? An older guy is probably has more pressure to get married. I don't know. Anyways. Listen, everyone has a past, so I don't know how much you should weigh that in. But trust is also very important to a relationship. So I would be straight up with them. Be like, I think you're hiding something. And my women's intuition, yeah, use that. That always scares the shit out of guys. Be like, my intuition is telling me you're not being honest with me. So I don't know if we should be together. You got to strong arm him a bit, And then see what he says. If he's like, all right, cool, peace. Then yeah, he was probably just using you to fuck. But if he says, no, I want to be with you, then I think you should give the guy the benefit of the doubt, and then when he's sleeping, go through his phone. Just fucking around. Don't do that. I don't know. I think you got to make this guy know that you're not someone to be fucked with. You got to relay and communicate that message to him somehow. So I don't know, man. My advice really sucks this week. I apologize. Okay, I'll do another question, and I hope it's not a relationship question. Okay. Can you suggest a good vape pen? Perfect. Okay, first off, I would like to say not only do you provide sound advice to your younger listeners, especially the teenage boys, but to your 30-year-old listeners like myself, I should be offended at half the shit you say, but I die from laughter every single time. So before I go into my question, I would just like to say thank you for what you are doing. You are fucking hilarious, and I look forward to your podcast. Keep them coming. Thank you. That's very sweet. I really appreciate that. Okay, my question is, can you recommend a good vape pen? LOL, serious inquiry. I blaze here and there. Do people even say blaze anymore? I say blaze all the time, by the way. You're always talking about vaporizers and how it's so much easier than rolling a joint. And since I'm not a pro, I was hoping you can suggest a specific brand. Thanks for any input. See, these are the types of questions people should be asking me, all right? This is my expertise, but yeah, man, vaporizer pens are amazing, man. They might be one of like the greatest inventions of this century, man. You don't have to roll anything. You don't have to chop the weed, nothing, man. You get a pen, you screw on the cartridge, and you just start inhaling. There's no smell. You can hit it indoors. No one can even tell you're high unless they like see how red your eyes are. But it's the fucking greatest thing ever, man. The best one I've come across in my experience is Sovereign. Hold on, let me pull up the spelling. 1 second. Okay, yeah, it's Sovereign Vape Pen. So SOVEREIGN. Get that one, dude. It will change your life, man. And then you just got to keep reordering the cartridges once they finish. And yeah, man, it's a fucking game changer. Especially if you don't know how to roll or you don't like rolling joints. It's fucking incredible, man. And the easiest way to do portion control that I was talking about earlier is with a vape pen. Like 2 or 3 hits is all you need. As long as you're not an animal like me. So the cartridges should last you a decent amount of time too. You know, as long as you don't like keep hitting it. You know, like me. But yeah, dude, Sovereign Vape Pen. I couldn't recommend it enough. It'll change your life, man. I have a link here, and I'll send it to you since this is one of the nicest emails I've ever received on the podcast. And all the other vape pens are good too, but the cartridge is the most important part. And you want to get the Sovereign cartridges. They have the best cartridges, in my humble opinion. So I'll send you the link though, and I appreciate all the kind words. So that's going to do it for the podcast. I'll try figuring out the 50th episode, what I'm going to do for it. I've just been so swamped, man. Ever since I got my movie deal in August, I started working on another movie project, and now I got someone else that wants me to write a feature for them. And I already accepted, even though I don't have any time. So I'm going to have to start like pulling all-nighters or some shit. So I'm swamped at the moment, but good swamped. I feel good, man. I feel like this is the start of something really big. And I got my birthday coming up next week. I'm getting old, but like good old, like more mature old. So yeah, if I don't talk to you guys soon, I hope you all have a happy Halloween, a happy Diwali. To all my little Surrey Jack brothers, please stay safe on Halloween. All right, don't do anything stupid. Don't get into any fights. Don't try to jump anyone. Just try picking up some chicks and getting some candy, all right? And then call it a night. Honestly, man, if I was you, I would just stay home on Halloween. You'll be better off. Just blow some firecrackers in your backyard or something, all right? Damn, I'm starting to sound like my dad. Okay, anyways, that was episode 49 of the Surrey Experience, and I'll try pulling off something special for episode 50, all right? But no promises. Surrey.